Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Reg Talks with Raj, an insider view of regulatory. Today I am having my dear friend Abhignya Vojjala. Thank you Abhi, thank you for coming over here.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you for having me here today. I really appreciate your efforts that you have put in from day one to make your knowledge through others' view to reach people as much as possible. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you so much. And before getting into the show, deep into the show, audience would like to know where are you from and what was your background, what was your
Sure.
previous experience. Could you please tell to the audience?
Yeah. So I have come for masters in fall 22. That is last year, and I'm here to pursue masters in regulatory affairs, and I'm currently on my co-op. Back in India, I had 2 years of work experience in regulatory affairs and a master's degree in pharmaceutical analysis earlier to this.
Oh,
So
that
this is
was
about me.
awesome. That was awesome. So, and my first question for you is what made you to get into this regulatory field, and when did you started at Northeastern? This was my first question for you.
So regulatory affairs job, the one I worked back in India, was my first job that I landed up after my masters. So that led my interest to know more about regulatory. I was a fresher in the industry back then, so I always had an interest to know more about the regulations, more about different countries before getting into a company that I wish for and settle into one thing. So I have explored a lot of options, and I found Northeastern was the best route for uh, my point of view, and that's how I landed up for masters here.
That's great. That's good to know from your end. And Northeastern has been branded for one particular thing, that is co-op.
Yeah.
So this was one of the major centric force that attracts number of students from the worldwide. And this made, in fact, this made Northeastern as one of the global campus with the co-op program. So when did you start applying for co-op? You came at fall 2022, and
Yes.
when did you start applying for your co-op, and what was your view on that? Could you please tell us?
Sure. So tentatively, I could say I have started applying from January end or in the start of February of 2023. I guess, according to me, I was already too late to start the applications.
Oh,
I had other classmates who have started long ago, and I was almost panicking by then. Then I took it seriously since then, and that is how I started my process.
so this was for June or July. When was your start date? Like when is your eligibility?
Yeah,
What
so
was your eligibility
usually
date?
any master, I mean, regulatory affairs master student would be eligible after three quarters of their education coursework. So
Okay.
for me, it was similar. After we finish our co-op course, that is when we start applications. So I was applying for the June or July intake for the co-op. So that's how I started early of this year to
Okay.
apply for the positions
Okay. So
that
in
were
the month of
available.
January, that was you are telling that you are already late
Late,
for
yes, yes.
applying for July. So remember, guys, it's gonna be a
Very
late.
tough.
Yeah.
Very tough
So you just
competition.
need to start as early as possible applying for different companies.
Yes.
So companies will be looking like an year front or else 8 months prior before when you are eligible. So
Yeah.
just start applying for your co-ops right now from here itself.
Yeah.
So before getting into the next question, so what was your interest and what do you do at your free time? I'd like to know more.
So my major interest is cooking. Other
Okay.
than other than the coursework, in my free time, I'm either exploring cafes out or either I'm cooking. So these are the two major pastimes that I have here.
I guess you do have a food channel, right?
Yes, yes. It
Uh,
says Hello Abhi on Instagram. It's on
okay.
a break right now, but you can check it out any day.
So I see many of your food vlogs from different restaurants in Boston. So you do
Yeah.
go over there and you try different foods. I've seen
Yes.
seems like very exciting to travel
I
with you.
am I'm very enthusiastic in exploring new things, be it
Mhm.
food or new places, new shopping centers, anything.
Okay, so let me move on to the next question. How was your experience working in industry back in India
Mhm.
and back in Boston in a med device company?
Yeah, I would surely say there was a work culture difference. Back in India, you there is a pressure. You always have that pressure about different things. But here, you don't have that work pressure. You don't feel that. and they're all very open, that they are very welcoming, and you are open to ask anything that you would like. So that is the major difference I could feel. I never had to be afraid or hesitant to ask anything about in the company to anyone. I mean the colleagues or the manager. It was always very cool that I could just walk into my manager's cabin
Okay.
and ask whatever question I had. Be it very silly, but he was always open, and he never. What could I say? He was never strict, or that manager kind of feels that
Okay.
he gave me. He was always very friendly.
Like he's a chill guy, I
Yeah,
guess.
I could absolutely tell my manager is the most chill person I have ever seen.
That's good to know. And you said you had a previous experience in India,
Yeah.
and when it comes to United States, sometimes, often companies prefer an experienced person, and sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, even companies may prefer a fresher guy also. So, how did your previous experience help you get into a co-op?
So,
Does it really matters actually?
yeah, I would say in these days the competition is too heavy among us.
Mm-hmm.
You all know the incoming students are a lot for each course. I wouldn't say specifically for our course,
Mm-hmm.
but it is like the survival for the fittest.
Okay.
So my personal opinion would be gaining some experience before coming here for masters. That would help you land into your dream job very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the interview process has been smooth and very convenient. It was all based on my previous experience.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked more about how and what I worked on rather
Okay.
than what I have learned. So what I would say is what I'm learning, what I have worked on, and what I'm currently working on are all in same path.
Okay.
So it is usually when it comes to interview, people usually ask you from your resumes more. So it's always important to be very strong through your resume
Mm-hmm.
and your experience, what you had before.
Okay. So one more thing is many of the students think that applying for n number of companies, whether it may be 300, 400, 500, the count may vary. Even I have seen some students who applied for thousands of companies. So let me see, does it really matter to apply n number of companies, or else apply for a specific target number of companies? Like you have targeted some X company over here. So when a position opens over there, if you target that particular company, you may get a chance of getting an interview or not.
Yeah.
So what's your view on that? Applying for multiple companies is a better point, or else what's your view on that?
So my personal opinion is that never keep a count on anything.
Mhm.
I would suggest, if you see a position open today, be very quick to apply for it.
Mhm.
Be it your 1,000th company or 100th company, whatever it is, be it your first company, just be quick and apply as many companies as you can,
Okay.
because you never know what is waiting for you. So
Exactly.
where you end up.
Yes.
So it's always better to apply to n number. I know the whole process is very tiresome
Mhm.
for every one of us. I had been through that, like the whole application process, then getting to one or two rounds of the interview and getting a negative feedback or negative result is very disappointing, of course.
Mhm.
But let's not give up the spirit, because we all somehow want to end up getting a co-op. So
Exactly.
this is how I worked on this.
That's good to know. And even same condition lies with me. I have applied for multiple companies, so I got picked up with many number of companies. Even some companies I went for the final rounds and I met the team. So unfortunately, that didn't go through, and I did not get hired. So I don't think, I don't feel bad about that. Something
Absolutely.
big is waiting for me, so maybe something better I need to improve myself. So I feel that way. So better not to disappoint at any point of time, and try to figure out what were the loopholes did you find in your interview process, and where you are lacking that, and try to figure out that area and go for that area and learn something about that area. So that's what I'm doing, and something or different from many people. You may get a different view about that thing. So I would like to suggest that thing from my end. And
Yes.
um, I've seen, you said you had 2 years of work experience back in India, 2 or 3.
Yes.
Correct me if
Yes.
I'm wrong.
It's
And
2 years.
2 years,
Yeah.
perfect. And how? And I guess you're working over here since 6 months,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
probably.
been 6 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So how do you differentiate your work experience from India to Boston? So United States particularly.
Yeah, as I've mentioned already, initial few days might be tough for any one of us because we have a lot of barriers, like be it understanding the accent, catching the point, or understanding the company's policies or work culture. It will be different, be it in India or in United States. I would say anywhere in the world, initial few days would be tough. But what I observed here is the friendly nature of the colleagues,
Okay.
and that could help us stand stronger and learn more things. It's just that you have to go up to people and ask what you have in your mind. I personally, I am very hesitant about asking my colleagues because I think that would disturb them. They are all busy throughout the days working hard. So if I go with a silly question, they might be disturbed or they might not like it. But I have learned that that's not true. If you go up with the questions, that is a way that you can communicate with other colleagues, grow your network, I would say. It's not only with the LinkedIn, but it is always in person also to talk with other people and grow your network.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one good point you mentioned is never get hesitated with anything. Try to ask
Yes.
questions from your end. Because when I was in the final round of interview with some particular company, and there were 7 people in the team. So I started posing many questions to the team people, like one on one. Around like I posed them like 5 to 7 different questions. So they were very much excited. Like, okay, this guy is something. His
Yeah.
perception is something. Like he his way of thinking is different, and the questions he
Exactly.
asks is like in a different way. So might be someone better than me has been got a chance. I guess hopefully that's the reason I did not get hired. So no problem. That was a good thing for me.
I would like to add a point to what you have said.
Mhm.
I would say be enthusiastic, show the
Exactly.
enthusiasm to the employer, because that is what there are thousands of people who apply for the same position. There's huge competition. The one you have to stand out among all. So if they see that enthusiasm among you, then it might lead you to a better position tomorrow.
Exactly.
Don't hesitate to ask. Even I had to go through different rounds, and I had an individual round with each of the employee colleague that I have right now.
Mhm.
So my common question to all of them was, will I have the exposure?
Okay.
So I would say all of us are looking for co-ops to have more exposure before we get into a full-time jobs.
Mhm.
So that this could help us much better to perform in a full-time job, I would say. So it's
Exactly.
always be clear with what you have in your mind.
Mhm.
So I would say that.
So that means like a chance of learning in the sense, suppose if it is a medical device company, there will be different sectors like manufacturing to submission phases.
Yes, yes,
There will be a wide range of domains will be there.
true.
So you mean like you are asking about the cross-functional team interaction?
Exactly.
That's what.
I was always looking forward to know about how the device started to manufacture,
Mhm.
production to the registration. So I
Okay.
was always very enthusiastic. It's not about only regulatory part I wanted to know. I wanted to see how the machines work, how the production happens.
Okay.
Because in today's market, if you just go get a device, it's very easy to use. Even
Yeah.
to use, you have to go through the manual.
Mhm.
But imagine how a product comes into the market
Exactly.
before. So there are so many steps that you have to learn about before understanding only regulatory.
Mhm.
Regulatory, I would say, is a compilation of all the departments.
Exactly. When you're at the initial phase, my best suggestion is to start from the learning phase. Like when you're at a learning phase. So my best suggestion is to interact with multiple teams and establish your network, a channel of network. Whether it will be useful in one or the other way in future. So that you need to interact with multiple people and start telling about yourself. At least inviting them for something, else coffee. This is the best way to interact with different people.
Initiate a
Yeah,
conversation.
exactly.
Always initiate a conversation.
Yeah. And let me ask you one more question. So there are multiple platforms to apply for a job position.
Yes.
So what were the platforms you used, and what suggestion would you like to give for my audience?
So, being a Northeastern student, I would say for any Northeastern student, NUWorks is a major platform because
Mhm.
NUWorks, you're a Northeastern student, that itself is a big reference. You don't need any reference,
Exactly.
personal reference from anyone. So, I've always applied only through not NUWorks and LinkedIn. These are the two platforms. So,
Mhm.
my tip would be I always used to be quick. Every morning, I used to just get up,
Okay.
and before I get down the bed, I used to open my laptop, go through whatever positions have
Mhm.
come in the night or in the morning before the day. and then apply for them, then only get out of the bed. Or else we
Okay.
are all lazy someday. You don't feel like applying. The process gets tiresome, as I have already told. It's just that you have to be quick, and
Mm-hmm.
also lot of companies, what I understand is, go with the limited number of resumes throughout a day or throughout the process. So if
Okay.
you are among the first one, there is a high chance you could get picked.
Okay.
So it's always be the first person or the first few person to apply for a job, I would say.
Okay.
And yeah, don't miss any day. You might have an opportunity that day that you have missed
Yeah.
waiting for you.
You might feel sick, or else you have plans to travel, whatever it may be. Just have a look at your new works and have a look at your LinkedIn and Indeed. There are multiple platforms like
Glassdoor,
Glassdoor.
yeah.
There are some other different platforms. So have a look at every platform in every single day. Then try to apply for the openings which you see. So this will be something like a first come first serve basis. So better not to miss any chance.
And also, there are not all the positions are accepted by the university.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to go through, if in case we have opportunity waiting for us that we have performed well, that comes to us, it's immediate. It's better that you reach out to the co-op advisor as soon as possible, so
Okay.
that before going more into deeper levels of the company's norms, it's always better to confirm with your advisors if this is suitable for you or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen cases where they have, uh, I mean, they have given interviews, succeeded there, but couldn't join the jobs because that doesn't suit our profile or does not be in our requirement.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I would like to add one more point. For any works, I've observed a lot of companies that where when we log into our any works, it shows that you are not qualified to apply.
Okay.
I had a lot of calls when the company I'm currently working is hiring for the next term, and I had
Yeah.
a lot of my classmates who have called me and asked. It says I'm not eligible to apply or not qualified to apply. So so it worked this way. I asked one of my friend to contact the co-op advisor or the academic advisor as soon as
Mm-hmm.
possible, and they quickly removed it, and he or she could apply for that company. So don't be in a
Dilemma, like
dilemma or thought that
confusion.
you are not eligible to apply.
Mm-hmm.
Just go and talk to a person who knows better about it, so it can help you apply the job.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you. So, and before getting into more technical, so I would like to ask, what's your favorite movie and what's your favorite place, and what was the last time you traveled?
So my favorite place would always be home back in India. After coming
Okay.
here, after staying alone, it is always home. so so I've been to a lot of places after coming to USA. I've been to Miami, Nashville recently.
Uh,
So Miami, I would say, is the best holiday spot I have been to. So that was pretty chill. And favorite movies, I'm not a very movie fan, I would say. I watch every movie. I just like the vibe of the theater.
exactly. And I see like every day, like on the release day itself, you go
Watch
for
the
every
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
I see your Instagram posts and Instagram stories. I see that's so
Yes, I'm very interested in
awesome,
going to
actually.
theater to watch a movie.
Yeah. And let me get into the other question.
Sure.
So, being an international student, you come from long way, and even same with me. We come from different places,
Yes.
and we travel like 15,000 miles, long way. And how do you feel like working over here? And did you face any challenges over here while working? And what was the one challenge would you like to say for my
Yes.
audience?
One challenge I would say, as soon as I came to USA, was
Mm-hmm.
accent. It was, I mean, it was a little difficult to catch up their speed.
Okay.
Even while the meetings happened in the company, it was always like I had to be very keen, very attentive to what they are talking, because if it was in person, I could at least understand by looking at their face what they're saying. But most of the
Exactly.
meetings are held on Teams or Zoom
Virtual.
calls, so
Mm-hmm.
virtual. So it is always important to be very attentive to what they say. You cannot keep going back and back to ask the same question. They might not like it. So one challenge is accent and the speed, the language barrier, I would say. Our English accent is different compared to the US English accent. So it is important that you be very attentive and keen on what they're talking.
So, Abhi, I've seen you're a current student of Northeastern University.
Yes.
So why only Northeastern University? Why did you apply for only this for own this university? And I see there are many universities in the United States. They do offer the same course. So what makes difference from applying for that universities and getting into Northeastern University? So would you please tell to the audience?
Sure. So there are very few universities that are offering regulatory masters in regulatory affairs. So why Northeastern? I would say for its experiential learning course curriculum. I mean the co-op thing. It is like you get the practical experience other than just the bookish knowledge or the coursework only. So I would suggest Northeastern to everyone for the course. I mean the experiential learning part that we have.
Okay, that's awesome. That's nice to hear from your end. And about your coursework, so did your coursework help cracking the interviews which you already did? Like the company currently you're working for, I guess like not only that, I guess you faced many interviews also. So did your coursework helpful and what was your curriculum? Could you please explain that? Yes, I would say our whole coursework is not only important in cracking an interview, but while working in a company, it is also important because you come across the same terminologies while working. Oh. Whatever you have theoretical knowledge will be just implied in practical field. That's it. Of course, how I prepared for my interview was I just went through all the information or that has been provided by our professors. So that is how I prepared. I would say it's absolutely important to follow the coursework and just prep yourself before an interview with whatever materials that have been provided. That will be more than enough. And I would say this itself is a great knowledge that we have and we don't need anything else other than this. So exactly. Coursework is really important and really useful for our further career also. Exactly. And guys, regulatory is one of the field where it changes time to time. So there will be some updated regulations also, and you see there are multiple platforms to learn. Along with your coursework, if you go through that, then that's it enough to enough and strengthen your knowledge about this field. So I say like I guess you applied for many companies, and our audience who are going to apply for multiple companies, they're waiting for your tip like. One tip what would you like to give for students or for the members who are applying for industry, so application process, who are going through the application process? One tip what would you like to give? Yeah, so as I've already mentioned that be quick. Be quick to apply for any company. And second thing, what worked out for me, it might not work out or it might work for someone. Exactly. But it's just that go through the co-op course process that we have been thought of. Like use a cover letter, use a strong resume, put your skills strongly, put whatever you have in the resume, and be open and be very vocal about what you are strong at. So for me, I would say for any application, a cover letter was very important. I've heard a lot of people asking me or discussing while the application process about how to. They keep changing this things in resume. So exactly. I don't believe that is important because our resume has to be standard. Okay. Our skills have to be standard. It's just that you have to tell people how you are how you are the preferred fit for that position. Okay. So a cover letter is for that purpose. A cover letter will help the employer to understand you better. Our resume should be a page, not more than that. That would not attract people to it or exactly. Get interest of anyone. Yeah. So whatever you can speak about yourself should be in a cover letter, I would say. Yeah. So cover letter is primarily important for any application process, according to me. Yeah, and to add on to that, like cover letter is something that you express your interest in that particular position. So not only how you fit for that position and what made you to apply for this position. Yes. So that was awesome. And thank you so much, Abhi, for sharing your views about regulatory. And I love hosting you. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Raj. I would hope this program runs long and